I want to talk about a special lady, my grandmother. And as some of you know already, that I was partially raised by my grandparents. So I was raised in a sort of a religious family. My granddad, he was a pastor in the community and quite a disciplinarian, a very strict person. And we would have to go to church every Sunday, every weekend, every Sunday during the week as well. And yeah, you know the rest. But my grandmother now, I know for sure that God made a promise to my grandmother. And, I must say, my grandmother, she is so kind. She would give her the very last. She's loved by the community. Everybody loved her. Everyone, liked speaking to her. She's always been kind to the church. So yeah, she's an amazing woman. And she would knelt with me at times. And she taught me the Lord's Prayer. And she would sort of pray, and whenever she prayed, she would pray for everyone. She would say the names of the people. I would hear her praying, and I would be hearing her saying the names of the people that she's praying for. And so at times I would be there with her, and I'm hearing a whispering going on somewhere. And at the time, it didn't really register. I did not really understand what she was doing. But it was when I'm older now, I realized that she was talking to God. She was in a conversation with her Father in heaven. And she would do that quite often. I never understood it until, now I'm a grown person, a grown man. I get it because I'm doing it now. And I remember a particular time when, so we do have a tank at the back of the house. And a tank is basically, whenever it rains, it collects water, and that's what we use for water. Sometimes there would be a drought, which means that there would not be any rain for months. And the tank would go completely dry. And we have to walk for miles to get water. So times were, it was rough. Grew up in poverty is rough. And I remember one particular day, I heard my grandmother praying, and she asked God for it to rain. And when she finished, a few minutes later, it started to rain. And as a kid, I didn't really understood, what just went on. And it's now that I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, God is so great. He answered her prayer, and yeah, it rained. And that was that. And, when I immigrated to the UK, I would speak to grandma on the phone, and, I called her mama. I would speak to mama on the phone at times. And she would always say, Marlon, you must remember to go to church. Remember to go to church all the time. And I knew I wasn't going to church. I didn't care about church. But I've always said to her, yes, mama, I will remember, I will. And that was that. So, I used to just live my life and don't care for any church, walking with Christ and that. And I just always have it in me, though, that I'm blessed, and I'm blessed because of her praying. And know she's a hardcore a praying person. So I know for sure that she would be praying a lot for me. And so I've always said, yeah, I'm good, I'm blessed. I never had any worries at all. I'm just always so, like good. And I've always believed that because I'm a decent person. I'm, I'm going to go to heaven because I'm a good person doing good things. Not knowing that I was way out there in the wilderness. Sort of wishful thinking, because that is definitely not the case. So God made a promise to her. I'm sure of that, because I'm here making YouTube videos, talking to you, and I never thought this is something that I would ever be doing. And throughout the Bible, reading the Bible, God do make promises to people. In Corinthians, this one especially, 2 Corinthians 1 verse 20, where it says, "For no matter how many promises God has made, they are yes in Christ." So this to me says, that Jesus is the perfect sort of demonstration of God's promise to us. Saving me, saving you from the pit of hell. So God definitely make promises, and if you believe and trust in Him, He will provide for you. And I believe that He made a promise to my grandmother to save me. And I know that she is so proud of me right about now, because it's even shocking to me. I never thought I would be someone here sitting in front of a cam talking to you about Jesus. So, I denied Him, as you know, from my testimony, and He came and I was washed in His blood, and He went and He left a clue. He left my back door open. When my back door was locked, my camera picked up my back door activity, being me, the last person in the garden, when I locked the door when I went back inside the house. So God is real, and I just want to thank my grandmother, bless her soul, and I am willing to build and grow. I'm doing this channel because I want to share my testimony. I want to speak about God. I'm on fire for God. I want to learn and develop and grow. I am still a baby. Certain things that I'm saying, I would still have to sort of refer to scriptures to, gain insight, for better understanding. Certain things I might not be sure about. There's a lot of things that I've been reading that I just don't understand. And therefore, it's just studying the Bible really and getting revelation. And that is my mission. So, like as usual, you're on the fence, you're lukewarm, get on the side where Jesus is, because He is here for us, and His promise is to get us into that promised land and save us from damnation. So thank you for listening, and stay blessed.